Do you know anything? About what? The Second World War? You know that the Germans started it by taking over loads of countries, and oh God, I forgot what country they attacked first.
It would be nice to know sort of what happened specifically where you live, you know, to know what, you know, where your house was there something, you know, what was that built on, you know, it would be nice to know that sort of thing, but I personally don't know anything about that, but it would be nice to know how the area you live was affected by it, because if it wasn't for that happening, then, you know, I might not be there, and, you know, things like that, so yeah, I'd like to know.
Yeah, if you like go on sites, you can find stuff like the ideas behind like pictures and like why they took them and the whole concept of it sort of interesting, and helps you like broaden your mind as to what you're doing, and then you understand like what you've got to go through to like get a good final product or whatever.
So it's more personal than hearing about how it affected everyone else and other people.
I suppose it hits you harder, the effects of it, when you know how like your great grandparents or grandparents went through it and stuff.
I think it would definitely be if it was like a website for what our school follows, because obviously all different schools are doing different, you know, like reading different books in English and studying different, you know, parts of science and that. I think it would be good if you had one that sort of followed your school's guidelines.
I suppose if like, I know the curriculum changes and everything, but if they'd look at, you know, GCSE curriculum and A-level curriculum and knew what students were studying like this year and put relevant information on for us, because it's really hard, like, because the different exam boards give you different things, so some websites will give you stuff for like OCR and others give you Excel, and you just don't really know what you're supposed to be looking for because it's all different topics. So yeah. Questions afterwards to, you know, quizzes to help you remember it, and like if you don't, then you could go back and, you know, reread it and stuff, just so it, you know, gets in your head more. Little pictures help, you know, things to like trigger your memory off. And
Normally when you go to a gallery you have to do a project afterwards and like do sketches and just write stuff up about what you've seen during the day, and if like you could have the additional information off the website and like stuff that you can't remember from what you've seen, and it'd be much easier to write up reports and stuff.
Yeah, just to back up the stuff that you've done at museums, like say you've sketched a picture, and it'd just be helpful to print that picture out and print some information about it with it.
You went onto it and it had like every subject, and then it would have little tests on each like topic of the subject. Like for science it was really good, like 'cause it was really detailed, and like the quizzes like basically just test your knowledge and help you to get better at it. So yeah, that was good.
But I've got quite a few games that sort of like run through the, you know, what happened, you know, like shooting games, you know.
See, that's quite good when when you go on websites and there's sound on that.
Yeah.
Like music, like it's a theme with it or something like that. Yeah, I like that.
And like you had like an actual screen that you watched, and it all had like a flash movie going on, and I thought that was really, really good. And it like showed the idea of what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So you've got all the explanation of what you've got to do and how it works, and then you've got this like little flash movie that actually runs through everything it's going through, so you can actually visualise it as well as sort of like read it and understand it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like if it, instead of having like written blocks, you know, of words, it's better if you can sort of have pictures and things like that to go with it, really.
Well, I listen to like if someone says something on the computer, I listen to like what they're saying so I can get all the information into my head. Like I like finding out stuff. Like for school we have to find out stuff on the internet and stuff like that. You learn like when the people were born and when they got executed and stuff. Anne Boleyn was executed on my friend's birthday, the 19th of May. I quite like getting emails, but like when they're boring emails, like stuff like if you're trying to get something, they're really boring.
When you go onto search engine, and then the list of different websites come up. I think if the museum one come up, that'd probably be the one I'd go for first, because it's more likely to have more detail because it's a museum.
Like sites will just have paragraphs and paragraphs of information, and it's too hard. You want to see like it all broken down like titles and stuff. It'd be easier to look stuff up and key terms as well.
What makes a website? Different pages, links, ones that name their sources. Just ones that help you put you on to others.
Anything that's more visually stimulating, if that makes sense. Like anything that basically shows you simple visual ways of doing of sending information, like not loads of text basically.
On the computer, if it's like longer than one page, you have to scroll down and it takes ages.
When you look for the website and you find it, and it says that it's got what you need to have, but then what it says is completely irrelevant, I find that really irritating.
Or when they, when they don't really narrow things down, like some websites will be really good. They'll have like, different bits that you want to go to. But some of them are it's just like, you click on some bit and then it just goes to loads of different bits. I want it to be more like narrowed down to what I want to find out.
What annoys me the most is if you go on the website and it doesn't work, it crashes or something like that.
Or if it says it can't find the website or something like that. And like you've seen the website somewhere written and it says it can't find it.
Because when you're studying and you have to look for so much information, it's annoying when you find that it's just like pages and pages of information. They put so much detail in it that you don't need. So something that's relatively simple.
Yeah, most internet sites have long text, like loads of paragraphs, and it'd be easier if everything was broken down into like subheadings and key terms and stuff.
If there's any way to get to it any quicker or easier instead of having to scroll through other web pages and things to find it.
Like when we went to the Tate galleries, we went on the websites afterwards, but like you couldn't really look at many of the pictures that you'd seen in the gallery. There wasn't any way of searching up individual pictures and actually getting to see them, so not that good.
It's too much text really. I find it, I'm like dyslexic, so I find it difficult to like read loads and loads of text and take it in. I prefer like more imagery.
Yeah, or the fact that they just go into so much detail about stuff you don't want,
Yeah. Whereas, with video clips and you take what you want, I guess, to an extent. Obviously you do need some text, obviously tell you something, but not like huge great deals about it.
So sometimes it's best just go to the library.
Yeah.
Forget the website. You've got to go to the museum.
Because basically
it's a website. You're sitting at home. It's best to actually walk around, see the videos, see the facts. You're in an atmospheric place as well, and there's so much to see. I was there for about 3 hours, and I still didn't get to see all of it. I had to rush around the last part. I don't think the internet could actually have all that much information, and you're only sitting there. You're only seeing it visually. It's better when you're actually there, and you can go around there with people and talk to other people about your own opinions. It's a good thing.